Broncos country, what is going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful end of your weekend or start of your weekend for some of you guys if your weekend starts on Monday. But hey, wanted to get into 24 hours removed. How am I feeling about the Broncos draft? And I've seen a lot of different experts, put out their opinions on everything. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm going to do what few people do, and that is show the stones to give my Denver Broncos an A on this draft, not because it was perfect, but because of what they accomplished. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Hit that like and subscribe. We're now on our way to 1,000, which means world domination. Thank you for helping me get there. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share my screen as well, so you guys can kind of have a look, an overview of who we've brought in on the draft. And NFL.com, see, they gave us a B minus grade. They gave us a C on day one, a B on day two, and an A on day three. I mean, that's cool, but I want to break this down. Okay, now they're saying, hey, time will tell if Nix will be a top starting NFL quarterback or not. That's kind of like why people are giving us, average grades or so. But here's the deal. Here is the thing, y'all, is that the Broncos accomplished pretty much everything that I asked for them to accomplish coming into this draft. And not because they drafted all the guys that I wanted them to draft or anything like that. But let's talk about it, guys. Do you remember? Do you remember this? What are some of the things that I said? One, draft a quarterback, or else I'm going to lose my mind. And I think Bo Nix, if we remove somebody like Caleb Williams or probably Drake May, I forget who was number 2 on that rumored board, but I think out of the rest of the quarterbacks, Bo Nix is the most natural fit for Sean Payton's system. And so I don't think that it was a reach at 12. Again, once the Falcons did that thing with Michael Penix, you couldn't risk trading back with the Raiders right there. You couldn't. You had to take him. And I think it's going to work out just fine. Shout out to Zach Seegers. He was talking about this as well. He's like, I don't know like what the ceiling is for Bo Nix or anything, but it's not like he has to be that good for this offense to look the best it has in a very long time. And I think he's got the best shot to be the most productive and best quarterback here in Denver since Peyton Manning left. He's got the structure in place. He's got a good offensive line. He's got some weapons. So number one, they accomplished that. Okay. They drafted a quarterback. Number two, I said, let's not give up, any of our other good players that we have. So that meant we didn't sell the farm, like giving a Patrick Surtain to move up to number 4 or whatever to pick JJ McCarthy or somebody like that. We kept Patrick Surtain. I love that. And number 3, we didn't give up any future draft capital to go and move up for any of these players. We didn't trade a future third to move up in the draft like we did. Was that last year for Drew Sanders? We didn't. We kept our 25 and 26 first intact. So let's say this whole Bo Nix experiment doesn't work out and we're really bad. We can go and do what the Arizona Cardinals did when they picked Josh Rosen. They were bad and they drafted number 1 overall the year after that and picked Kyler Murray. They can just continue to draft that quarterback, see how it all goes. I like that. Okay, I think that's the best way to do this thing. And we only gave up a future 6th round pick 2 years from now for a starting defensive lineman, which is fantastic. So yeah, I give the Broncos an A in terms of accomplishing getting the quarterback, but also not sacrificing the future. Maybe this marriage between George Payton and Sean Payton is going to work out a little bit with them being kind of yin and yang with their different strategies, because it was nice to see us not sell the farm at all to go get our guys. Now, the other things that we accomplished was getting some juice on this offense. Okay. I really wanted Troy Franklin, mainly because I think he's a very good wide receiver, not a perfect wide receiver, but a very good wide receiver. And we got Audric Estimé. Okay. We got Audric Estimé, and he was behind some of the other backs that I had brought up, like just on my fan big board. I really wanted Bucky Irving. Again, if we're going to draft Bo Nix, get him weapons that he's familiar with. but that didn't work out. We weren't able to get both Bucky Irving and Troy Franklin, but Audric Estimé, man, he provides that attitude, that ability that we need. Don't worry about the 40 time with him. Again, you're not putting him on the field to break 80-yard touchdowns. You're putting him on the field to average 5-6 yards a carry, to break a lot of tackles, and to have good vision, be a guy that can get some short yardage carries for us, convert first downs, and get some goal line touchdowns for us as well. Love it. Absolutely love it. And then Troy Franklin, one, adds a ton of speed onto this team again, with Marvin Mims really being the only fast guy that we had on the team. And I love that. This offense needed some juice, and I'm excited to see how Sean Payton uses both Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin on the field at the same time. Okay. Like, I love that. So big win for the Broncos in adding juice to the offense. Yes. And they ended up taking care of some other, maybe not immediate positions of need, but maybe positions of need, like with edge. I thought that was a pretty decent pick. My guy Marky Sports, shout out to him. He said that Jonah Elliss kind of has a Max Crosby type of motor. So, hey, I hear Max Crosby. I'm okay with that. I love the fact that we did bring in a corner, Missouri DB Abrams-Draine. We need somebody that's going to provide some more insurance and competition for that cornerback 2 and 3 slot. And then with the 7th round picks, I wasn't like the biggest fans of them, but like I can understand. Devaughn, Vele, guy that's going to come in here, immediately contribute on special teams. He's 6'4", so he can be a red zone threat for us if needed. It's got some decent speed. Upside is I doubt he has much room to grow with him being 27 years old. He's probably the product that he is right now. And then I pronounced his name wrong. I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong again. Nick Gargiulo. I don't know. Dude's got a mustache, but I heard he shaved his mullet. He cut that thing. What the heck? But yeah, I can understand that. Now, this wasn't a perfect draft, but when I look back and think of the things that we needed to accomplish, okay, we needed a quarterback. We needed to add some serious weapons to the offense. We needed some help at edge and at DB as well. And we needed a developmental offensive lineman. There were just a couple positions that, hey, if we were only going to have 7 draft picks, we weren't going to be able to hit every single position of need. And in this case, it was offensive tackle and tight end that were left out. I don't think linebacker was a big time immediate need for us because I talked about this. I think Drew Sanders is going to stay at inside linebacker based on our selection of Jonah Elliss and our trade for why is his name skipping me right now? Franklin Myers from the Jets, John Franklin Myers. So I would have kind of preferred, because I want to make sure that Bo Nix is as successful as he could have been, as he can be, is that it would have been nice to spend our late 3rd round pick on Ja'Tavion Sanders. I wanted that so bad. And yeah, I'm a little bit more educated on the offensive guys more than defensive, just because offense is just more fun to me, right? But Ja'Tavion Sanders, I felt like would have been a massive weapon for us. And yeah, maybe Jonah Elliss is a 3rd round pick rookie that's starting for us this year would be huge alongside Jonathan Cooper. But man, I really wish we could have used the 76th pick on Ja'Tavion Sanders. Or let me add, if we were going to go corner, I really liked Kyrie Jackson. But I think he's 23, 24 years old. So I understand why he fell a little bit and why the Broncos looked past him. Already drafting a few other older players. So you can't have a draft completely filled with 24-year-olds. Yeah, 24.7. Yeah, he's going to be 25 here soon. So, and then there was Brandon Dorless, who was also available at the defensive interior. This was somebody that after Andre Sweat was drafted that I thought, hey, we might target. And they decided to go with edge instead of these other players, which I thought was interesting. So we'll see how that turns out. But I think, yeah, maybe I'm showing a little bias towards Oregon right now, which is kind of funny because, you know, I'm a big time Buffs fan, but at the end of the day, Oregon's filled with a ton of NFL caliber players. And yeah, I guess those are just the small pieces feedback that I would have. But I think overall, you can't expect anybody to go out and do exactly what you want to do. The big picture things the Broncos accomplished. We got our franchise quarterback, hopefully, didn't have to give up a ton of ammo. We kept our future draft picks. We kept a cornerstone like Patrick Surtain. Might he be a little bit of a luxury right now with where we're at in this rebuild? Sure. But I don't think you were going to get the return on him that you were hoping for. And so it's nice to keep him. We added some weapons. One, Troy Franklin being one that's going to have somebody that already has chemistry with Bo Nix. So that's going to help them be more successful. And I love the Audric Estimé pick. The one other thing was that I kind of wish that maybe one of those seventh rounders was used on a tight end like Dallin Holker if we couldn't get somebody like Jatavian Sanders, earlier in the draft. But it is what it is. We've brought in some undrafted guys, which is pretty interesting. I'll get to that here in another video. But y'all let me know your thoughts on the draft. Overall, I'm very, very happy and excited. And I don't know if I'm going to say, the Broncos will make the playoffs this year or anything, but I think they're going to be damn fun to watch. And at this point, with where we've been, we need to hit that stage first, right? Being fun and interesting. And then let's get to being good and interesting, right? So y'all hit that subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like on the way out. And as always, y'all go Broncos.